exhale and relax. Breathe and relax. Long, deep breaths in, and even longer breaths out, relaxing the body, clearing your mind. Just let whatever thoughts are moving through your head, just let them glide through. Endeavoring not to be attached to any particular thought, but notice what you're noticing if something is showing its face over and over again. Perhaps something within you is trying to get your attention. Maybe there's something you're ignoring or pushing back down within you, wants to make itself known for your highest good. So just relax and let yourself be. Let go of everything outside this room, everything outside of yourself is expendable in this moment. Tap into your beingness. Find that inner fountain, everlasting, infinite fountain of peace within you. All we have to do is surrender to it. Open our arms to that which lives and breathes in and through us, the fountain of life. Not just physical life, but everlasting life that is God. Relax. Send love and light to that area of the body. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your fist. Relax your jaw. I invite you now to check in with your heart. What are you feeling this morning? Are you in a place of gratitude and joy? Are you feeling content and peaceful? Or has grief and sadness for some reason taken residence in your heart this morning? Just let yourself be with it. Let whatever you're feeling rise within you, honoring it, acknowledging it, knowing that here in this very special place, we love and accept you exactly as you are, even as we hold your divinity, even as we see the light that you are. grief is often a measure of love. Let yourself be with it. Just breathe and relax, knowing that with each breath, your body is vitalized, energized, nourished. With each breath, there is an accompanying exhale that gives us permission to let go of what no longer serves us. Gives us permission to surrender, to make room for what we do want, to make room for the desires of our hearts, to open up to more love, more joy, more peace, more prosperity. More of ourselves, more of God. For the fullness of God lives within us, and as we open ourselves to it, we become more free. We become more powerful, stronger, more resilient, wiser, more compassionate. Breathe and relax. This place of peace, this feeling of gratitude and freedom is our true home. No one can take it from you. And the more we surrender to it, the more it blesses us. So we continue to say yes. Yes. Yes to the divine. Yes to love. Yes to peace. Yes to compassion and harmony and unity and prosperity and vital health. Yes to all good things. We let God, we let go. We let go, we let God. We bless each moment, each breath. For life is a precious, awesome, magnificent phenomenon. We have the freedom to create as we will. Breathe and relax, knowing that this peace, this feeling that you have right now is yours in any moment, in every moment, simply by affirming it and surrendering to it. from this place of peace and joy and love. We now sing our centering song. This reading is from How to Let God Help You by Myrtle Fillmore. She's one of the co-founders of Unity with her husband, Charles Fillmore. And this is from chapter 12, Contentment. Inspiration, enthusiasm, strength, joy, and outer supply come to you in ever-increasing measure as you depend upon the only source there is for your sufficiency. As you establish divine order in your thought world within, as you find your home in Christ, the truth, you are bound to find your right environment, the place that the Father has prepared for you, in which to serve him and develop your soul. The only place to find contentment and health is in the place or state of consciousness that Christ, the truth, has prepared for you. These inner riches do not depend upon outer conditions, and we must not bind ourselves by believing that they do. According to your faith, be it done unto you. All of us must hitch our faith to the divine ideas that make for abundance of manifest good. Then we have a foundation upon which to build our castle of health, happiness, and prosperity. The eternal realities upon which to build are discerned by the eyes of faith and spiritual understanding. So, by finding the all-providing love of God within your own soul, you become a magnet to attract manifest supply to yourself. You become a magnet to attract divine ideas, and your innate wisdom reveals to you how to use the ideas to your best advantage. Your steps are being guided to whatever environment is best for you at this time. As we bring all our desires into subjection to our wisdom, discrimination, and good judgment, we are not led into detours by blind desires. So the first thing to do is to bring every desire of the heart into the light of wisdom, to see that what we desire is practical and conducive to our highest good. Thus we are able to go straight to our goal. Quote, and we know that to them that love God, all things work together for good, end quote. And so it is.
Well, that was fun. How do I follow that? Okay, the word of the day is wealth, and it comes from Sermon on the Mount by Emmett Fox. One of the saddest passages in all literature is the story of the rich young man who missed one of the greatest opportunities of history and turned away sorrowful because he had great possessions. This is really the story of mankind in general. We reject the salvation of Jesus offers us, our chance of finding God, because we have great possessions. Not in the least because we are very rich in terms of money, for indeed most people are not, but because we have great possessions in the way of preconceived ideas, confidence in our own judgment, and in the ideas with which we happen to be familiar, spiritual pride, born in academic distinction, sentimental of material attachment to institutions or organizations, habits of life that we have no desire to renounce, concern for human respect, or perhaps fear of public ridicule, or a vested interest in a worldly honor and distinction. And these possessions keep us chained to the rock of suffering that is our exile from God. The rich young man is one of the most tragic figures in history, not because he happened to be wealthy, for wealth itself is neither good nor bad, but because his heart was enslaved by love of money, which Paul tells us is the root of all evil. He could have been a multimillionaire in silver and gold, and as long as his heart was not set upon it, he would have been just as free as the poorest beggar to enter the kingdom of heaven. His trust, however, was in his riches and shut this gate. Why was not the Christ message received with acclaim by the Ecclesiastics Jerusalem. Oh. Because they had great possessions of rabbinical learning, possessions of public honor and importance, authoritative offices as the official teachers of religion, and the possessions that they would have had to sacrifice in order to accept the spiritual teaching. The humble and unlearned folk who heard the master gladly were happy in having no such possessions to tempt them away from the truth. And if you'll repeat the affirmation 3 times with me, please. My trust is in spirit, and I am rich in spiritual awareness and confidence. My trust is in spirit, and I am rich in spiritual awareness and confidence. My trust is in spirit, and I am spiritual awareness and confidence. Thank you.
Girl. So the ancient sages thought that meditation was not just for us, and not the way we think about it now, because now we think about meditation being about reducing stress and increasing productivity, and that has all these practical applications for life. But ancient sages were thinking that it's for our freedom. Meditation is about getting free, to free our minds, our hearts, our souls, to know ourselves in the oneness that is this universe, that is God, that is the essence of life, that we get to experience that in the silence. And as a natural consequence of that, to uplift all of humanity, to uplift the consciousness of life, of the planet. And so it was not just about us, but about our oneness in all of life, and that without thinking about, even though the early thinkers in the early back centuries ago, people were contemplating the quantum field in life and what is happening and what is the meaning of life and where does it come from, way before there was experimentation about quantum physics, they were thinking about it. So there was this knowledge about oneness and about life and about our place in life, not as individuals, but as a part of oneness and the universal energy that is God, wisdom, the all there is, whatever you want to call it, the universe. So as we talk about and investigate and explore prayer and meditation as tools, the tools of the unity movement, that is one of the 5 principles, I invite you to think not just about what's happening with you, but how what is happening with you is affecting the world. And how every single prayer that's uttered in this world can probably be resolved and healed through our individual consciousness, which affects universal consciousness. And that speaks to our own individual power as infinitely powerful spiritual beings. What you do and who you are affects universal consciousness, and all of us together create mass consciousness. And so if we are prayerful, if we are concentrating on all things good throughout our day, then by design, we are raising the consciousness of all humanity. All humanity. So what if in your time in the silence in the morning, you affirmed that everything that you are in that moment, everything that you realize, everything that you experience in that silence is giving rise to something in the whole world. That every prayer for peace you utter is a prayer for peace and contributes to the peace of the planet. That every time you affirm your health and well-being, you affirm the health and well-being of every single being on this planet. That every time you give a prayer of gratitude for overflowing abundance in your life, that every other being on this planet is more prosperous and abundant. What if you knew yourself as that powerful? For we are that powerful. It's just that we don't see ourselves as that. We don't move through the world as that. I was listening to a group of scientists. There's one show called Star Talk, which Neil deGrasse Tyson is on with, and they're always inviting astrophysicists and quantum physicists and other scientists to come on. I just listened to one this morning. The gentleman who's the head of the Institute of Noetic Sciences was on, and they were talking about what is the meaning of life, and very interesting 5 minutes of conversation, this clip. And they were talking about what is the purpose of life, and that perhaps the purpose of life is for life to know itself. That life wants to know itself, and that means life is getting to know itself through you. That, yeah, that takes my breath away. That life, and I translate to God, wants to know itself through me. That's what I thought about myself growing up, that I was just this small, insignificant being. And yet, even science now, science is talking about how significant we are. Neil deGrasse Tyson in that conversation said, when he contemplates the cosmos and the galaxy and how they used to think that it was finite, but now they're thinking it's just infinite, that there are galaxies beyond galaxies beyond galaxies beyond galaxies, and we can't see the end of it. And mathematics is not calculating an end to it. And he says, I don't feel more and more insignificant the more I contemplate the world. I feel more significant. And that as wonderful and as awesome and as magnificent is the brightest star, I am also that. Awesome and significant and magnificent, because I am made of the same stuff. Man, if that doesn't blow your hair back, I don't know what will. And if it blows mine, phew, then that's some major hair blowing. Life. Life perhaps is endeavoring to know itself through us. Through us. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? When we wake up in the morning and we start to slog through our day, sometimes already grumbling about what we got to do, where we got to go, how hot it is. Oh my gosh, we live in Texas, people. Stop talking about how hot it is. This is what we do. I have a friend who texts me just about every day. Says, oh my God, it's dang hot. It's Texas, people. This is what we do. We do it well, don't we? Man, we can fry up an atmosphere, can't we? You know, you're walking through a parking lot going, oh my gosh, lighten up. Where's a tree? God, please give me a tree so I can get some shade. We're already grumbling about this, and we're losing the significance of life because we're grumbling about the stuff that we got to contend with. And we're missing the whole point. That life is trying to know itself through us. So how can you show up with something more in your day, despite the list of things, or in light of the things you have to do today? What if when you stopped for gas, to put gas in your car, that you blessed everybody else right there, also putting gas in their cars? What if you sent a prayer of peace to everybody in the grocery store, everybody on the highway, instead of grumbling about the traffic, thinking that every being here on this road, all the thousands of beings that are going north and south and east and west, and getting lost and getting found and using their GPSs and wondering where the heck they are and when am I going to get there, that all of us are just peaceful, loving, prosperous beings. What if when you looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning, you knew yourself as a beacon of peace for the world, and that everywhere you went, you blessed everybody in your path with peace? What if we got away from ourselves and the minutiae of our lives and realized the grand plan that life is endeavoring to know itself through us? That God wants to experience life perhaps through us. How does that change your day? How could it change your day? Or the work that you do, no matter how you judge the work that you do. You may think it's insignificant. But I believe that everything that we do is a part of the fabric of life, that we have created together as human beings, and that it can all be beautiful. It can all be magnificent. It can all be significant to everybody that we touch in our day. If we step into that expression with love and peace and harmony and unity, and knowing that every single person you lay your eyes upon is also life seeking to know itself. One of the greatest gifts of my diagnosis was that there are no small, insignificant things. And at the same time, it taught me that it's all small stuff. Everything is significant, and everything is small. Everything that I used to be concerned about, that used to hype me up and get me anxious and worried and concerned, isn't a big deal anymore. It's now no thing, because what matters is life, and life seeking to know itself through me. So it matters and it doesn't. The conundrum of life. It's all about us, and it's not all about us. The conundrum of life. We are individuals, and we are the oneness that is life. The conundrum of life. How can we be individuals and be the universal energy at the same time? That's what's making quantum physicists scratch their heads and argue for hours upon hours and hours and throw theories out after theories out and run experiments over and over again. One of the things I listened to this morning, they were talking about electrons, and that every single electron is like every other electron. So there really only just one electron zipping around in and through all things. Yeah. Wrap your brain around that one and watch it go. The conundrum of life. There's so much happening beyond this physical world that we see, because everything is vibrating and moving. Everything is alive, including us. Everything, every cell of your body has those electrons zipping around, or the single electron zipping around through all of us. And instead of it letting you get a headache about it, let yourself be curious and open about it and just say, oh my gosh, what is that? What if? What if? What a magical world we live in, and what a magical thing I am, because I am perhaps life seeking to know itself. That kind of stuff turns me on. That kind of stuff lights up my being. That kind of stuff lights up my understanding, even though I don't understand it, about God. It just expands all of that. And I start to accept and know and explore God as this infinite, crazy, energetic thing that is living and breathing in and through me and each and every one of us at the same time. This thing, life seeking to know itself through us. Maybe, I don't know. Nobody knows. But what a thing to contemplate. What a thing to let your heart hold and know that you, every single one of you, even as you may be thinking about yourself saying, she ain't talking about me. Because I know. I don't think of myself as treasured. Nobody ever called me treasured. Treasure this? Because I got stuff. I got problems. I got conditions. I got situations giving me a headache. I got stuff to figure out. I got stuff going cattywampus. Had to bring it back. I didn't say it last week, I don't think. I've done some stuff. As Carolyn sang, I didn't mean to hurt you. All of us have said that very sentence at some point to somebody. I didn't mean to hurt you. And in spite of all of that, or maybe in light of all that, we are still life seeking to know itself. We are still love. We are still divine. We are still treasured. We are still infinitely powerful spiritual beings. And sometimes we fall on our faces. Sometimes we mess it up. Sometimes we drive it in the ditch. And we are still, maybe even more so, life seeking to know itself. And so as you utter those words of love, I didn't mean to hurt you. Know yourself as love and peace and joy. Know yourself as harmony and unity. Know yourself as this divine energy living and breathing as you and all of life at the same time. Even as you trip over the hurdles of life, even as life slaps you in the face or snatches the rug out from under you, even as all that you know gets blown up by the death of a loved one, or a devastating diagnosis, or loss of your income, or whatever it is that has blown your world up, even with that, there's this life out there, in here, in and through each and every one of us and the 8 billion plus on this planet, and every single thing that has life and energy, which is absolutely everything, has life. Everything vibrates no matter how solid it looks. Everything moves. Everything is in motion. Everything is breathing. Everything has some level of consciousness. Everything. So even as it looks like the world may be crumbling, your world is crumbling, or the world is crumbling, life is seeking to know itself through us. That's what chills out my day when I start to go cattywampus with my situation. That I stop and I breathe and I affirm that life is moving in and through me. And that there is this energy, this force that is God. And maybe in your understanding, this entity that is God. Doesn't matter your understanding of it. All that matters is that you know that it is alive and working in the world and in you. And that it is holding all of what is happening in the world. And that each of us as individuals can affect what's happening in the world simply by feeling and holding a consciousness of something lovely and wonderful. When you hear about injustice in the world, you can sit in a moment of silence and affirm peace and love and justice and harmony and unity. When you pass a traffic accident on the road, you can affirm health and vitality and peace for everyone involved in that situation. Someone's having surgery. You can pray not just for the patient, but for every person that touches that experience of that patient. Doctors, technicians, operating room attendants, people who prepare instruments, people who control the environment of that hospital. You can pray for all of them and uplift all of them, even as you uplift the patient who's going to be on the table. Even as you think the world is going to hell in a handbasket, You can affirm in a moment that we have heaven on earth, and that all of us, all 8 billion of us, are beacons of peace and love and harmony and unity. If life is seeking to know itself through us, then we are the healers of what's going on in the world. Life is moving through us. Love is moving through us to heal what's going on. We, as infinitely powerful spiritual beings, we have the power to influence the world. Not just our little patch of world, but the universe. And you can affirm that your prayers, that your peace, that your consciousness unites with all positive, loving consciousness in the world. Intention matters. They've got an experiment for that too. Intention matters. And that as soon as you affirm that your prayers for peace join with all prayers for peace, something shifts in the world. Something shifts. As you affirm each of the words that you've chosen for this year, as you affirm them and live them and explore them and express them as we go month to month to month, we now got 6 months left of affirming and stepping fully into this energy that we've committed to for the year, then you grow and expand, and that energy that you've chosen now rises in the world. So think about that. What word did you choose? And not only how can it change your life, but how can it change life for all beings? And if that's too much to think about, how can it change life here in this city, county, state, this nation? You don't always have to go whole hog. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can decide to positively affect a corner of the world. Start there. Start where your consciousness lives. Start where you are and expand from there. I'm sure if all you could hold is 500 people in your consciousness, those 500 people are very thankful that somebody was praying for them. How many times have you heard somebody say, I felt the prayers that were offered for me? How many times have you heard somebody say, yes, pray for me, I'm thankful for prayers? So pray, hold that consciousness, know that you are affecting not just your world, but the world. And that you are an integral part of all good things. Or toxicity, depending on where you're going, what you're doing, what's in your consciousness. So just like we can affect the world in a positive way, we can also bring separation and pain, divisiveness. What are you choosing? How are you choosing to affect the world? How do you want life to know you? How do you want life, with a capital L, to experience you? ask that question anytime, any day, any place, any situation. How am I affecting life in this moment? Am I a beacon of light, or am I spreading darkness? And if you don't like what you're beaming out into the world, shift it. Then shift. One of my favorite phrases from one of my dear friends, Dottie Gandy, was, "Up until now." Up until now. Shift on a dime. Up until now, all I thought about was drama and getting what I want, or being vengeful. Now, however, I'm shifting to opening, to love unconditional. Up until now, I was stuck with my feet dug in to what I believe and not open to the beliefs of others. Not open to others' opinions. Not open to others' way of believing or expressing themselves. Now I'm opening my arms. Now I am curious. Now I'm asking questions. Now I'm expanding my horizons and letting others open my world. And I'm taking a wide view of life rather than a narrow view of life. And in that I am blessed, as is everyone else on this planet. Up until now, up until now. Perhaps life is seeking to know itself through each and every one of us. And as I contemplate each of you, I think, wow, that's wonderful. Because I know each of you is love and light. I endeavor to see all of humanity as love and light. The question is, how do you know yourself? What are you affirming for your life and your consciousness and your place in this world? As an individual and as a part of this grand, energetic, endless, infinite bubble that we are. Let's take this in a meditation. So here in this moment, I invite you to ask the question, what does life know about life when it looks at me? If I am affecting universal consciousness, what am I bringing to the table? Do I know myself as love and light? And am I endeavoring to be more love and light in every moment? Do I shower love and light upon everyone I meet, everyone I think of, pray for. Just breathe and relax. Know yourself as peace and harmony and unity in this moment. Know yourself as compassion and wisdom. Know yourself as vitality know yourself as a healing force. Born of the power of God, moving in and through you. Breathe and relax. Allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to breathe in everlasting life. There's an infinite, bottomless well of goodness waiting for us to open our arms to it and affirm it, claim it, and express it. So that we can be that goodness in the world and shine it upon all those who do not know of the bottomless well of love and peace and joy and prosperity. Breathe and relax. God is in and through all things. God is the essence of all life. From the tiniest grain of sand to the largest, massive creature that walks upon this earth. The magnificent stars, galaxies, every moon, every planet, the magnificent sun, ever focused on North Texas in the summer. magnificence of life moves in and through each and every one of us. And we give thanks for it. We say yes to it. We delight in it. And the more we say yes, the more we experience it, the more it has its way with us. Yes, and thank you. Yes to life. Yes to God. Yes to love. Yes to peace and harmony and unity. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.